authorizations, please contact Westwood One Denver Operations Center at 720-873-5177 between the hours of 8 a.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern Time.
Now have a forever family and the foundation for a bright future.
When I was adopted, it was like, wow, I get to settle, and this is permanent.
After I was adopted, I felt happy.
Adoption changed me for the better. I feel like I can be whoever I want to be.
Every child deserves a safe, loving, and permanent home. Help the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption find forever families for children who have been lingering in foster care the longest. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
My son Finn was born with congenital heart disease, causing him to spend the first 8 months of his life in the hospital. During that time, he endured 10 surgeries, including an open heart surgery. Starlight Children's Foundation has played an important role in my family's life. For 5 weeks when he was a baby, Finn lived in a Starlight Hero wagon. You could not understand the pure joy of having him go from a hospital bed into his favorite red wagon, especially when he was so little. The support that Starlight provides to families like mine is an integral part of creating happiness at a time when there's very little to be found. Learn more about how the Starlight Children's Foundation brightens the lives of sick kids by visiting starlight.org today.
103.3 The GOAT.
Yeah, that's the one.
K277TQ Lafayette, 1420 KPEL Lafayette. It's a good thing goats have 4 stomachs. Otherwise, there's no way we could swallow some of these takes.
Hey, goat, what's going on out there?
103.3 The GOAT. The greatest sports talk of all time.
The rumors are true.
People keep asking if I'm back, and I haven't really had an answer. But now, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
Dave Schultz and SportsChat are back.
I'm back, baby! I'm back!
One change, though.
I'm sorry, that deal's now off the table.
What?
We live in a different world than we did just 30 seconds ago.
Instead of waking you up, he's taking you home from work.
Hey, Dad, you want to have a catch? I'd like that.
Talking Cajuns, Tigers, Saints, all of it.
I am your father.
Buckle up, Acadiana.
I feel the need for speed. Ow!
It's time for Sports Chat with Dave Schultz on 103.3 The GOAT.
All right, this is going to be interesting. Dave Schultz, Lyndon Burton switching sides of the table. I'm producing because, Lyndon decides he's not coming to work tomorrow or he's making more money somewhere else. So I'm going to produce the show tomorrow, which tells you we need a bench of producers is the problem.
Well, our backup guy's going out of town.
What's Mark Pope?
Dave, I'm below you on the totem pole. I have no idea.
Can Mark Pope do it?
I'm sure you can. You just got to ask him.
I'm asking you, has he done it before?
Oh, has he done it before? I to my recollection of doing these shows, I am not sure. But I'm sure he has.
See, now I got to do both. Now I got to do the show and produce. It's not going to go well for me tomorrow. All right. Lyndon's done a magnificent job over the next 6 weeks, and all of that good karma is going away because of tomorrow. We got a outstanding show for you today, if I can see my computer here. Scott Jackson, new gig, by the way, and he was at Commanders camp. We'll start NFL previews today. Nice. Washington Commanders, we never really got into that whole mess. And with the new ownership and everything along those lines, also he's joining 94.1 in Norfolk. He did go to school at ODU, so we'll talk a little Monarchs with him. We got John McDade somewhere. Did I send you that interview? He is the officials.
No. I don't think so.
Coordinator?
Yeah, no.
Okay. Hopefully we have that somewhere. Kev Giardello from the Austin Statesman. He covers Texas State, and we'll put a bow on Sunbelt Media Days. And Kevin Borba will hop on. He is Locked On Buffs, which is Colorado. They are bailing on the Big 12. And it's amazing. On Tuesday, we asked Keith Gill, are there any plans for expansion? Not any plans now. That was in the big group. Then we asked him, are you reactive or proactive? You know, do you have to be proactive or do you have to be reactive because you're a group of five? And he goes, well, we're reactive because we want to be. Well, yesterday at 4 p.m. or so, Colorado's going to the Big 12. Today at about 1:30, Florida State says, yeah, we don't want to be part of the ACC anymore. The problem with that little nugget is, although in terms of competition level, you want Florida State and Clemson, but the SEC doesn't need Florida State. They don't need Miami. They have the Gators. If they want to expand their reach, if you will, that's not the right term, but footprint is the right term. They'll go get Carolina and Virginia because now you're expanding. Now you got Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, Texas, Missouri, Tennessee, Kentucky. You don't need redundancy in terms of Florida State or Clemson. So we'll see what happens there. Moving forward, it's happening fast. I had somebody reply to the Locked On Sunbelt podcast. You can get that wherever you get podcasts. And subscribe on YouTube, please. But you can, he suggested Memphis, UTSA, Tulsa, and East Carolina, which seemed to be pretty good choices. I'm not sure if would that make it 18? I guess that would make it 18. All right, so now we have to open up this is probably not a real phone call. Mm-hmm. Where is
you're going to have to log into mine because your thing doesn't have it.
Well, that's a problem.
Yeah, that's our engineers. Yeah.
Well, see if we can get it. We have 3 hours now. See if we can get it on
your thing?
On my thing. All right. So we can't open up. We don't know if anybody's calling or not. Should we just answer this phone call? Because it's probably Region.
Yeah, it's going to be Region,
right.
More than likely.
All right. So the news that was pretty large coming out of Sunbelt Media Days as far as the Ragin Cajuns are concerned is Ben Woldridge is healthy, raring to go. We think. Or do we think that Mike Desimo is a super genius or evil genius? By just getting that out of the way, he doesn't have to answer the question for the next month. Whereas in a month, he could say, you know what, we tried it.
And he's not.
Ben is trying to get better, and he's just not there yet. He can answer that question one time at the end of the month. But he basically had this injury in November, and these things take a year. And right now he's at month 9. Am I right? August, September, October.
Yeah. That, if he is, he's a superhuman.
Yeah. So I think it's outstanding that Ben Woldridge is raring to go. I kind of did the schedule last night again, Lyndon. Could they win 8 ball games?
It's possible.
And if they knock off a Buffalo or Minnesota, could they win more? What's going on over there?
Joe Burrow has it was breaking news. Joe Burrow has a calf injury. He was carted off the field.
So you're just tweeting it?
No. I was gearing the story up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, just settle down.
Okay.
It's very distracting. By the way, I do have a question. If you are in the parking lot finishing lunch, are you at work yet? 269-1077.
Oh, my man, you're in a feisty mood today. Throwing shots man.
Who'd you say? I'm just asking. I didn't say anybody specifically.
Lyndon has not done a thing, and Dave's just taking shots. Man, take this feistiness out on Matt.
If you didn't say anything, nobody would know I was talking about you.
Obviously, you're talking about me.
I just asked if you're finishing lunch at your place of work, are you at work yet if you're still in the car? Because the text message says, I'm here, but I'm finishing lunch in the car.
was just letting you know not to worry.
Technically, that's not here in my book. I don't know if anybody else's book. Okay. But the Ben Woldridge thing I think is huge for the Cajuns. They get, let's see if we can do this off the top of my head. It's not going to be in order. But Northwestern State, that's got to be a win. ODU needs to be a win. Then UAB is probably a loss. They probably won't be favored unless Trent Dilfer is a mess. And the Cajuns start out 2-0. Then you get Buffalo at home.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go to Minnesota. And Minnesota is now under the gun with that coach having issues, being a little bit too tough.
The goal would be to start 3-2, hopefully.
Minimally.
Yeah,
minimally.
Yeah.
Minimally 3-2.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And it's not like UAB is going to be favored by 14 or something like that, but they'll be favored by 3 or 4.
I was
home field
honestly
advantage.
talking about Buffalo and Minnesota with being the 2 losses.
I think you're underrating UAB.
UAB? Okay.
UAB. As somebody who was in that state for a few years, you're underrating UAB.
Gotcha.
And apparently underrating Minnesota. No.
No, yeah, I said Minnesota and Buffalo. Yeah.
All right. So you start 3-2. Then you come back. You get Georgia State at home.
You
after Minnesota.
You go. I don't know why they put the volleyball thing in there. It's Texas State.
Okay, so Texas State needs to be a win.
Mm-hmm.
And then
after that, Georgia State.
Then Georgia State.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And
those games are at home.
Yes.
All right. Then you go on the road.
And then you go on the road to South Alabama. Yes.
That's going to be tough.
October 28th.
All right. I'm going to put that down as a loss. That's a tough ball game.
Mm-hmm.
And then
after that, you're still on the road and you go to Arkansas State.
So that's only tough because Jonesboro is a tough place to play, but that should be a victory.
And then you come back home.
Southern Miss at home.
Miss, yeah.
Then Troy on the road.
Troy on the road. And then you finish ULM.
All right, so you got to get revenge on ULM. Can't you get 8 wins out of that? Let's count that. Let's go back from the top. All right, so from the top, Northwestern State 1.
Yep.
All right, second game, Old Dominion 2.
Yep.
Okay, third game, UAB, no. Fourth game, Buffalo, yes, that's 3. Okay, then you're doing Texas State, that's 4. All right, then Georgia State, that's 5. All right, South is no. Arkansas State is 6. Southern Miss is 7.
Oh, you're giving them Southern Miss, okay.
It's at home.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And ULM is 8.
Yeah, it's 8 right there. Mm-hmm. I do think Buffalo.
I think that's a good season.
No, I do too. I think Buffalo will be difficult. That's where I think,
why are you overrating Buffalo?
Look, so let me pull up the stats on Buffalo.
Okay.
Really
So Buffalo's hit or miss. At one point in time, Buffalo was worse than ULM. Buffalo was an awful Division I program. They've been hit or miss over the last decade or so. They can be good. I think they've played for the MAC championship a couple of times. They may have won the MAC a couple of times, but you never know how good they're going to be.
So last year they were 7-6, 5-3 in the MAC.
Okay.
And
go back another year.
Okay, the year previous, 2021, that's when they were back 4-8.
Okay, go back another year.
The year before that, 6-1.
That's COVID.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, go back another year.
2019, 8-5.
All right, that's pretty good.
So they've been
But that game's down here.
Yes.
And it's going to be a little toasty still at the end of September.
True.
So they may get a little dose of the humidity when maybe it started to cool off a little bit in upstate and western New York. So that news that Ben Woldridge is going to start camp for the Cajuns is enormous. Also, it does a good job of, it's one of those things where Desimo doesn't have to, hear about it all the time from his players too. Like, you're the number one guy. Mm-hmm. These two are fighting for the backups.
For sure. Yeah. No, 100%. And honestly, I do think it's the best case scenario for them to really go and try to win a Sun Belt championship. Like, you don't know what you have in Zion Chris. He's a young guy. You want to develop him. And Chandler.
Do we think they're there yet? Do we think that's a possibility right now? I'm not there yet.
No. But I think if they were to make a push, it needs to be with Ben.
With Ben.
Yeah.
Right.
That's when I say that, I mean Ben's their best chance at even making a push.
I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, but I'm going to also say that South Alabama's going to win some games on the road. Right? Are they going to beat JMU on the road?
Yeah.
Are they going to beat Troy on the road? They got Oklahoma State on the road and Tulane on the road. That's not Sun Belt per se, but do they have one of those special seasons like we've seen in the past, like the Cajuns did a couple of years ago? I'm not sure that the Cajuns are quite there yet. Like, their leading returning wide receiver is their tight end.
Yeah, true.
Is Neil Johnson.
True.
He had like a couple hundred yards receiving last year.
And they lost some quality people.
Yeah.
So they're trying to see if they can get that back. Yeah.
I'd really be happy with 8-4. If they were 8-4,
that's a win, yeah.
I think that's a pretty good season for the Cajuns.
It's a win for sure.
All right. It's not an outstanding season.
But it's on the up and up.
But it's not beating anybody you shouldn't and not losing to anybody that you shouldn't either.
Yeah.
Which may be more important, actually. You can't. So there's a couple of tricky ball games, right? ODU is going to be tricky because it's a road game, conference game so early on in the season. Arkansas State's going to be tricky. Southern Miss is going to be tough, right? Can you go in there? I mean, for all intents and purposes, I think South Alabama's going to be really good this year, but they almost beat them last year. And South Alabama, do they regress because they had a lot of close victories last year? Georgia Southern was a come-from-behind victory. Southern Miss was a come-from-behind victory.
I'm worried about
the Cajuns were a come-from-behind victory.
I'm worried about Southern Miss and Troy at the end of the season. Like, I think
why Southern Miss?
So I have a friend who is over there and is working in radio.
Right.
And apparently, like, they have this back that they believe has developed really well. And they're going to run on the back of him. And apparently...
This back?
They're running... I don't know his name. And then...
Frank Gore Jr. is his name.
Oh, okay. Well, apparently, he's supposed to be dominant this year.
It's a good thing that he's listening to the Southern Miss portion of the show when we were in New Orleans.
And the defensive line is supposed to be really good this year.
Okay. All right. What was the second part other than Frank Gore?
The defensive line.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But they have two quarterbacks that they're deciding on.
That's the issue.
They have two transfers coming in being quarterbacks.
But apparently in the trenches, they're really tough.
All right. I thought they lost some guys. Then they lost some wide receivers, so they got to replace some guys. All right. So now I got to play of music. Can I just play?
Just click one of the...
Where's my songs?
Go to SportsChat 2.
SportsChat 2, which I can't see without my glasses on. All right.
Is there music in there, or is it just...
This is the six songs that we have? Where are the songs?
I forgot I took them out. They're in, go to music, just take one of those and drag them into whichever one you
Just
want.
this one right here?
Just pick one, drag it into the key.
And where am I dragging it to?
To that open spot.
Oh, drag it to the open spot.
Yeah.
All right, hold on a second. We did something to it here. Let's
exit.
get out of there. All right, and we're doing training as we do stuff. All right, so we can play this?
Yeah, just click it.
All right, and is it going to play because this is the log? Or no?
It's going to play because...
Hotkeys. All right, so let's see if we get a little Queen going here.
Here we go.
All right, so this song was the result of their performance at Live Aid.
Oh.
This was their first hit after Live Aid, and they blew everybody away at Live Aid. They got a hit song.
Okay.
All right. You an Iron Eagle fan?
Iron Eagle?
That was the name of the movie that this song was from.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
Louis Gossett Jr.
Oh, okay. No, I thought you were talking about, I was like, Iron Eagle? I thought we were talking about Queen.
We are.
Yeah, no, I didn't know it was from a movie.
But this is not queued up properly. So we're not really getting the song.
Yeah.
Basically, it's Lyndon's fault today. I just decided that.
Man, I'm getting so much flack today, and I didn't do anything.
How much did you cheat over the weekend playing NBA 2K?
I didn't play any.
No, so you didn't cheat.
Oh, my gosh, man. Dave's just throwing his anger out on me, ladies and gents.
All right, and now I I just play the spot?
Just play the plus button, and turn off.
I got to press play up here.
Yeah.
All right. It's a really good song. All right, Dave Schultz, Lyndon Burton, just getting going. Scott Jackson talking Washington Commanders. We'll start our football previews at the bottom of the hour on Thursday afternoon Sports Chat on 103.3 The GOAT.
If it's not the GOAT, then they're full of sheep. 103.3 The GOAT, the greatest sports talk of all time.
Delivery's at the door. Can someone please unlock?
It's been an eventful afternoon with a spike in bookings at Claudia's event space.
We'd love to host Mermaid Fest.
She was already planning on having more event planners on hand.
500? That's a lot of tails.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates, and you can schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from the Indeed dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Ray Magliotta here for eBay Motors. So you ordered a new air filter for your car. You try to install it, but it doesn't fit. So you take a little bit off the sides. What, still doesn't fit? Well, you could try to sit on it. Or get it right the first time with eBay Guaranteed Fit. When you see the check, you know that part's going to fit. Air filters, brakes, headlights, over 122 million parts. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors, let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hi, I'm Connie Britton, and I want to share with you the experience of Donna in Washington. She writes, I got injured about 5 years ago. I was let go when, because of the injury, I couldn't keep up with my schedule. I've tried to find other work, but I'm 68 now. No one wants to hire someone that old. This week is tough, though, because I had to get my tooth fixed. So I only have $10 in my checking account. But it will be okay. I at least have food because of this pantry. Millions of people face hunger. Some every day, just like Donna. The Feeding America network of food banks helps provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org. Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
The mission of Paralyzed Veterans of America is clear: accessibility. Veterans who have served and sacrificed the best of themselves deserve access to the best our country has to offer. Access to meaningful employment. Access to the veterans' benefits they've earned. Accessible homes and vehicles. And access to every part of their communities. With PVA staff working inside VA hospitals, no other veterans organization has provided more real-time, ongoing support for paralyzed veterans and their families. PVA is proud to serve veterans across all branches, all generations, and all conflicts. Our nation's heroes fought for your independence. Join PVA in fighting for theirs at pva.org.
In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the sheep sleeps tonight.
It just isn't the same without the lion. Join the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance today. Visit sdzwa.org.
Thirsty for intelligent sports talk? Sounds like you need a little Gatorade. 103.3 The GOAT. The greatest sports talk of all time.
Dave Schultz, Lyndon Burton on a Thursday afternoon sports chat. 103.3 The GOAT. Scott Jackson coming up here, bottom of the hour. AJ Perez from, let's see here. The FOS is Front Office Sports, wrote a column. Former University of Minnesota football players describe a toxic culture under head coach PJ Fleck.
Sheesh.
In interviews with FOS, including allegations of strenuous workouts were used as punishment in violation of guidelines, NCAA guidelines. Some people are saying that much is in there, but here's what I don't understand. So we can go back, and some of these things have nothing to do with each other, but you would think it would be an opportunity to make sure everything's in order in the house, right? And it goes back, I mean, you can go way back and start when you want, but I'll take it to Jerry Sandusky in Penn State. Right now, no one would think that you would have anything along those lines in a college program, but I'm going to take that opportunity to make sure everything's on the up and up. Then, a few years later, we get the Baylor situation. And what I used to describe as the school that doesn't exist, it really should have shut down.
Truly.
Baylor, I don't care what Kim Mulkey says.
No, I'm with
all right,
you.
the Baylor stuff was inexcusable and disgusting.
I'm with you 100%.
And they hid behind religion to take down women. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And so you would think somewhere along the way that people would make sure we're not doing any of this. Now, there were some accusations at LSU that ended up not being true, but there were some that, whatever happened with the tennis coaches. Right.
That was slid under the rug.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't understand how this stuff keeps on happening. And then you have, on the other side of things, you have Jim Harbaugh buying a couple of recruits some cheeseburgers when he wasn't supposed to and then lying about it and getting his 4-game suspensions. Are you serious?
Yeah, that's a little, that's not good.
If I was Jim Harbaugh, I would do the same thing the Tennessee Attorney General suggested. Mm-hmm. If you ban us from a bowl game, we're going to sue. If I'm Jim Harbaugh, I'm suing. Bring it on.
Yeah,
Maybe the University of Michigan said, look, we're just going to take it.
Yeah.
It's not that big of a deal. You're only missing the games. You're not missing practice.
And you're missing the games that aren't really
the easiest ball games in America during the first 4 weeks, so don't really worry about it. You have a veteran club. Just let's move on. Except it is asinine. These, according to the report, Yahoo Sports, these two kids just happen to be on campus. And Harbaugh tracked them down. They were at a local restaurant, and he bought them a couple of cheeseburgers. And now he's being suspended for 4 ball games.
That's a little crazy.
Come on.
No, I can't.
What is the NCAA doing? And now we're getting more reports. Adam Sparks, who covers Tennessee as well as anybody, the cheating is much more widespread and involves much more people for Tennessee.
I could believe it.
But because the Attorney General of the state said, if you ban us from a bowl game and hurt the players that are here compared to who was not here anymore, we're going to sue. So, of course, the NCAA folded and just gave, some...
I remember your point where you said the NCAA does nothing and they should just focus on the basketball tournament and give everything else.
That's really it.
At this point, they might as well.
That's really it. Focus on the basketball tournament and I guess just on the championships. Just focus on that. Because you're not worth a damn. And I don't understand how some of this stuff keeps on happening. The stuff at Northwestern should never have been happening.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's one thing when the team is doing it, right? And the coaches are not necessarily part of it. Whether they know about it or not is one thing. They should have known about it. But it's another thing when it comes from the baseball coach and he is a part of it.
Facts.
And the players are not encouraged to seek treatment on the premises. They have to go to their own place or the apartment of the trainer to get treatment. I don't understand some of these places, right?
And how they just keep getting away with it, and it's just constant. But to your point about bringing back Sandusky, it's like if they got away with it so many years, you can understand how some of these programs have gotten away with it for so many years.
Well, the NCAA came down with a hammer on Penn State, and they lost in court.
True.
Actually, they did severe penalties to Penn State, and they lost in court. Now, you would think this would be an opportunity for us to be all on the up and up. And then you get, with all the NIL stuff, Pat Narduzzi goes, well, I can't compete with all these millions that all these other places have because they're much bigger schools than my little Pittsburgh, University of Pittsburgh school. Well, no kidding. All right. What a shock. How much money do you make, Pat? Compared to everybody else? How do you compete? Well, how does a group of 5 schools compete with you, Pat? You're in the ACC. You're in Pittsburgh. You play in an NFL stadium. Who can compete with that?
No one.
Pipe down.
Well, except other schools that have that type of budget.
Yeah. Pat, pipe down there, Narduzzi. Pipe down. All right. Let's take a timeout. Let's see if I had another song here. Let's see if this works out. Hot keys. All right. Play a little Dr. John.
Nice.
All right. All right, Scott, we're going to start previewing, all the SEC, all the Sun Belt, and all the NFL. Washington Commanders up first. We never really got to those stories that broke last weekend. I guess it was Friday, actually, right? Thursday and Friday?
Yeah.
So we're a week behind.
Sun Belt
but we'll preview the Commanders on the field and talk a little bit about off the field with our buddy Scott Jackson, who just got a new job. So there's that. Back after this, Dave Schultz, Lyndon Burton on 103.3 The GOAT.
I've been on the right trail, but I must use the wrong car. Headed in a bad place, and I wonder what's good for. I've been in the right place,
the free 103.3 The GOAT app now.
Right now.
You've got mail and the very latest sports news now.
Did he say what I think he said?
103.3 The GOAT.
And we're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go. Almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the
right seat. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
St. Joseph's Indian School is much more than a school for Native American children.
It's like a family. Classes are fun here. I am learning about my culture.
Since 1927, St. Joseph's Indian School has provided children the education, health care, and support they need to succeed. To help give our kids brighter futures, learn more at stjo.org today.
Timeout.
All right. Remember, we're a team that plays together. Listen, the winning will take care of itself. We just have to get everyone involved.
In interscholastic sports, we celebrate what makes every one of us unique. And in the pursuit of a common goal, everyone in the huddle, in the bleachers, and in the community comes together. This message presented by the LHSAA and the Louisiana High School Athletic Directors Association.
Pardon us while we butt in with a little common sense. 103.3 The GOAT, the greatest sports talk of all time.
Shiver in the dark, it's raining in the park, but meantime, sound of the river, you stop and you hold everything.
All right, Dave Schultz, Lyndon Burton on a Thursday afternoon sports chat, 103.3 The GOAT. It'll be nice to settle in. It's been like 6 weeks, Lyndon, and I've been here like 10 days.
Yeah, you have not really been
2.5 weeks at home. All right. 2.5 weeks at home. And a week in Nashville and 2 nights in New Orleans.
To sleep in your own bed.
I passed out last night.
I bet.
I didn't make it to the first commercial break. I didn't make it through the first commercial break of Justified yesterday.
I started it. It is amazing.
It is amazing. Yesterday's episode stunk. Or Tuesday's episode was bad.
I'm on the first two.
Annoying daughter gets in the way. So sorry, that's just give me the action. All right. All right. Let's you're saying I pressed the bottom button here. Let's see if he's there. He is Scott Jackson, the new afternoon host on ESPN Radio 94.1 in Norfolk. He is an ODU alum. Are you gonna have a parade on your arrival on your first show?
I don't know if I get. I don't think they'll go that far, but I might have one. I'd be happy to be down there.
Right.
Down by the beach. It'd be nice.
That's outstanding. All right. Well, now Well, hold on. What did we say, Lyndon? Cajuns are playing ODU second week of the season.
Yeah.
Road trip.
Hey.
You got a guest room?
Maybe.
That's a polite no. I'll bring the bourbon if you have the bed. How about that?
Well, there you go.
Well, that
There
came
you
out.
go.
You know what? That came out
I was talking to a mutual. I was talking to the most famous Ragin Cajun I know today about that game, and he says he's coming down. Mr.
Nice.
Mitchell. So,
nice.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that. And he does have a vested interest, however, in Old Dominion because his daughter goes there. So,
all right.
But he still knows he's going to be rooting for the alma mater.
Sure.
Obviously, but he does have a little bit. He's got a lot of ODU swag, I might say.
I'm sure that he does.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the Washington Commanders off the field first before we get on the field. The sale goes through. Dan Snyder is done. Josh Harris is the new owner. I do want to have someone explain to me. I know you're not a legal scholar by any means, but what is the difference between withholding funds and embezzlement, if you can help me out with that one?
I think it's like maybe a lot of other teams might do this too, so we're not going to make too big a production.
Oh, okay.
That was brought to my attention a couple of years ago when this thing came up. It was like, this is not that different, but this is just another thing they can get them with. And then, again, there's 3 municipalities, we deal with up here. There was also the season ticket refunds that were not given back in a timely fashion, and people didn't even know they were deserving of them. There was that case. I mean, they've settled with, I believe, Maryland. I don't think Virginia's been settled yet completely. I think D.C. has. They've paid fines, but I think some of that stuff's still being adjudicated. But anyway, so that was an interesting one. And, again, it's interesting. They turn a blind eye to a lot of things, but, oh, my God, you're stealing from the cookie jar. Then suddenly that becomes a little bit more serious, and again, it's about the bottom line. I mean, that's really why we got to this place, which was, it became so toxic that it was hurting the bottom line business. I mean, you couldn't get a stadium deal done. We saw how, people were pulling out sponsorship wise, and, league was paying attention to all that stuff. And they were just like, please just get out of here gracefully if there's such a thing, and make your $6.05 billion and call it a day. And that's what he did.
Yeah, so basically the 0.05 was the fine, right? That's $60 million?
Yes, correct. Yeah, and, again, I know some people were hoping they were going to give it its own day to drop this Wilkinson report and all this stuff, but they kind of had to time it out with the close of the team, with the sale, I should say, of the team to make sure they got their money for starters. And just to kind of have a clean slate for Josh Harris, and his group that's coming in here as well. So it's been an interesting week. Obviously, a lot of stuff going on. I was at practice the last 2 days. Today, the owner got to be in front of the fans for the first time out of practice, and people chanting for him. It was quite a spectacle.
I'm going to ask you another stupid question. We're talking with Scott Jackson, new afternoon host, ESPN Radio 94.1. Where's the money going to? If he's collecting $6.05 billion, is he actually going to write a check to the NFL? Because why? He'd be like, come get it from me if I'm Dan Snyder.
I would imagine he took it out of the proceeds and pulled out the proceeds of that deal and kicked it over that way, or Harris and him had some deal that it would come from the team. You know what I mean?
There you go.
There you go. So it wouldn't come from the team, what have you.
Right.
But yeah, I think that's just more a proceeds thing, and that's how they handled it. But look, it could have been a lot worse. I think they probably sanitized that thing quite a bit. And again, a lot of this stuff has been so many years past. It's hard to prove it all. And obviously, in some cases, people took money and signed non-disclosure agreements and still came back, and blew the whistle on this thing, which, we're thankful they did because it ultimately helped get them out of here.
Right. We're talking with Scott Jackson, new host on ESPN 94.1 in Norfolk. All right. So before we get on the field, I guess the next big topic, besides the name, and that may be more important to others, but how long before Josh Harris says we need a new stadium? I'm sure that's coming any time now.
Well, I mean, everybody knows that. There's stuff going on today with legislation in D.C. where they're getting control of that land, which is federally owned at RFK, where the original, Washington Redskins, not the original Washington Redskins stadium was, but one of their stadiums where the glory years took place. Got a place that's got a lot of sentimental value for a lot of us that went to games there, and it's easy in and out via Metro. Certainly the area's been somewhat neglected in some parts of it. It's got to be fixed up. There is a really large amount of acreage over there. Just the question becomes, is it enough just for a stadium? is it enough for a stadium with, commerce around it? Is it enough for a stadium with not only the commerce there and a better version of what they had before, but also the practice facility, which was what the previous regime wanted to do. It's roughly on 142 acres. I don't think there's enough for the practice facility. I think there's enough for a really good stadium and some restaurants and things like that. But I just don't know if you can do the full-scale thing. Of course, Jerry Jones, everybody looks at the Cowboys Star as the ultimate situation. Obviously, the Star is not located next to Jerry World, AT&T Stadium, which is in Arlington. That's in Fort Worth. So, I think it can be done here. You get 3 municipalities. Obviously, they've been practicing in Virginia forever. They play in Maryland. They do actually nothing in D.C. except wear the name right now. So it'll be fascinating. D.C. is a sentimental choice. I think they're, I don't think Josh Harris and Mitchell Rales, who are the two lead investors here who grew up in this area, decided to spend $6.5 billion to move this team to Virginia, even though the governor of Virginia was at practice today.
So you're thinking D.C., but what are we looking at, like 2027 at the earliest?
I'm not a construction boss, Dave, as you know.
But you stayed at a Holiday Inn Express last night, so there's that.
Right. It would take it's a good 4 to 5 year process,
right.
I would say, or more, to get that thing built. It's not easy. Just because they cleared one hurdle doesn't mean anything. Things tend to move slow. And he's going to have something that Dan never had. He's going to have the ability to go to all 3 of these municipalities if he chooses to do so and hear their best pitches and kind of make them up the ante maybe against, each other. They do own the stadium they're at now. They have a huge parcel of land that they own, 200 acres plus there, right near the stadium, closer to a different metro station. The one that the metro station right now is not very close. People walk very far from there to get to the stadium. So that's intriguing, although people don't love Landover. And I think Landover, if you ask the residents, they probably would be more than happy to see them leave and see some commerce and some better things put there. But, the one thing I will say about Landover, people kind of overlook this, is there is multiple ways to get in and out of the place. When RFK was in its heyday, there was only 55,000 people. That was a 55,000 seat stadium. Now, granted, currently at FedEx, they're lucky to get 55,000 over the last several years.
Right.
And that's one of the things I saw today. I had traffic. I live 10 minutes from what they call the Commander's Park now, and it was a heck of a drive because there were so many fans trying to come out to this thing today, which has not been the case for multiple years. It's like an awakening. You woke, as they say, the giant has been awoken. We'll see if they keep the momentum going.
Talking to Scott Jackson on a Thursday afternoon Sports Chat, 103.3 The GOAT, new afternoon host on ESPN Radio 94.1 in Norfolk. He was at camp today. I love asking this question when we start with on-the-field questions. Who is the Washington Commanders' starting quarterback?
Sam Howell. I don't even think it's close at this point. I think he's been given the job. They've been giving him the first shot at the job, I should say. He hasn't been given it per se yet, and he's took it by the horns so far. He hasn't done anything to lose the job at this point. Obviously, eventually they're going to play games and we'll see things. But the way the reps have been split up, and he's definitely get the majority of the reps in the off season and in these early parts of camp. Jacoby Brissett's as a vet. He's been around a long time. He probably can work with less reps, so if need be. But, I think the question we all have that's fascinating is if Hal struggles in the season, what's Ron Rivera's appetite and patience level? Because, he's obviously on the line here. His season, his job's on the line, so, how long would you stick with it? That'll be the interesting thing. But I'd say Hal's going to be the starter, I think, week one, unless he's just horrible in the preseason.
I am hearing from additional D.C. sources that the Metro stop is very inconvenient, although this person doesn't necessarily go to a lot of NFL games. He may be going to a major musical act coming there in a couple of weeks.
That's true. No, it is. It's terrible. It's a long walk. And I think if they put it on the other side of that property on a FedEx, they can be much closer and more convenient to the other Metro stop. And they have space to build out there in terms of commerce, which they never did. And there's no you're a tailgater. That's all. There's no restaurants or anything to go to or anything like that. It's really like you're just dropped in a big old parking lot.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a problem. So anyway, place sucks.
Couple more minutes with Scott Jackson. What about this defensive line that was supposed to be dominating? Are they healthy?
Well, Deron Payne wasn't practicing today. It was limited yesterday, so They say he's got a toe. It's no big deal, but I didn't see him today. That's not a good thing. Chase Young didn't have the brace on, so far. He's not been doing it really, I guess even since minicamp he hasn't had it on. He and Sweat, obviously, in contract years right now. John Allen's been paid. John Allen's, the rock of this defense. They get a lot of if you get into the Pro Football Focus stats, they're really good there in terms of pass rush pressures, but there's just not enough sacks. I mean, they need to create more turnovers as well, and I think that's why they went after Emmanuel Forbes, obviously, over some other options at corner because they think he's a ball hawk and he could fit really well in this defense. And, they went with Quan Martin with the second-round pick, out of Illinois, who was obviously a guy they think can make a lot of plays for him. So I think there was a lot of emphasis on, yes, we have this defensive line. They have creative pressure. They've got to get home more, but we also need the guys on the back end to make some plays. And I think if you look at this team, it's fair to say the defense is probably going to scare the offense for a while as they, get used to each other. And, it's a green quarterback, and it's a coordinator, even though we know his name, that really has never been in charge of all this stuff. And that's why he's here in Washington trying to prove that he can do it.
What do you think is a good season for the Commanders this year?
Well, the season they need is to at least have a winning record and get to the playoffs. I think for Ron Rivera to feel comfortable at night, to feel like he's going to still have a job next year. I don't think they can afford to, go 8-8-1 again, or 7-9, or 7-10. I should be now 17 games as they did the previous 2 years. So I think they have to have a really good season, and that's not going to be easy. I mean, the division's very good. Obviously, everybody in the division except for the Commanders, who had just one game to win, made the playoffs last year. So I think, they've got to at least hit that 9-10 win mark in order to feel like they're going to be invited back to this job next year.
All right, he is Scott Jackson. When does the new gig start?
Monday, baby.
When was the last time you did a regular talk show? I know you fill in a bunch, both in Richmond, Norfolk, and D.C.
Yeah, I mean, it's been I've been in this freelance game for almost 5 years now. I mean, it's been crazy. So for like 4 plus, not quite 5. I think August 1st would have been the 5-year anniversary of when the Team 980 was sold by the Red Zebra, which was the Washington Redskins corporation. When they got sold to Radio 1, and they cut half our staff, and then since then, most of us have been working as freelancers in the market, but all over the place. So yeah, it's gonna be good to get back. I'll still be doing the Commanders radio on the weekends with my crazy friend Fred Smoot.
Nice.
And to doing ODU basketball for ESPN Plus again, and it's good. It's going to be a lot of fun, and you know how it is, man. Nothing better than the Monday through Friday, know where you're going to be, and something to build and kind of your baby, So I'm looking forward to having all that back.
He is Scott Jackson, new host on ESPN Radio 94.1 in Norfolk. Congratulations, my friend. We will be in touch. Get that guest room ready.
Thanks, Dave. Take care.
Thank you. Just drop?
Yeah, just drop.
Okay. All right. We do have some breaking news. We'll come back and
a lot
we'll
too.
Yeah.
With the Joe Burrow injury and then the arrest.
We got another arrest. It's arrest season. They can't stay out of it. All right. All right. Dave Schultz, Lyndon Burton, back after this on a Thursday afternoon Sports Chat 103.3. The GOAT.
Cha-cha, the limbo, the foxtrot, and even the tango with ladies and girlies, with mommies and babies. And DJs can play this cause it's on their playlist.
Deodorant you use on your butt? You heard that right. I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman, founder of Lumi Whole Body Deodorant. It's time to summer-proof your body odor. Lumi's formula works everywhere. Pits, underboobs, and yep, butts too. All those places that naturally tend to get a little bit stinky when the weather gets hot. Lumi's clinically proven to control odor for 72 hours. That's 3 whole days of fresh fun in the sun. As an OBGYN, I met thousands of women looking for a better way to control odor below the belt. So I created Lumi, a pH-optimized, aluminum-free deodorant that actually works, with over 150,000 5-star reviews to prove it. Ready for your freshest summer ever? Head to LumiDeodorant.com to get started.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code 23 and get an extra $5 off a Lumi starter pack that comes with a free product of your choice and ships free with code 23. LumeDeodorant.com, code 23 for an extra $5 off a Lumi starter pack. That's LumeDeodorant.com, code 23.
Keeping your kids safe is a full-time job. Whether it's putting on outlet covers, installing child gates, or gluing down your priceless vase. So Duracell made one part of childproofing simple. Our lithium coin batteries are the only ones coated in a non-toxic bitterant to help discourage swallowing. Your kid is safer, and you've got one less thing to worry about. Or glue down. Duracell, engineered for more. Available in 2032, 2025, and 2016 sizes.
If you're hiring, it can feel like trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. Like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Now try ZipRecruiter free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/FREE.
My son Finn was born with congenital heart disease, causing him to spend the first 8 months of his life in the hospital. During that time, he endured 10 surgeries, including an open heart surgery. Starlight Children's Foundation has played an important role in my family's life. For 5 weeks when he was a baby, Finn lived in a Starlight Hero wagon. You could not understand the pure joy of having him go from a hospital bed into his favorite red wagon, especially when he was so little. The support that Starlight provides to families like mine is an integral part of creating happiness at a time when there's very little to be found. Learn more about how the Starlight Children's Foundation brightens the lives of sick kids by visiting starlight.org today.
I'm Shanola Hampton. I support the Feeding America network of food banks because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
Every second counts in a poison emergency. That's why Poison Help is standing by 24/7 to provide free assistance in over 100 languages. Save Poison Help as a contact in your phone today. Poison Help. 1-800-222-1222.
Don't let someone get your goat. There's plenty to go around for everyone. 103.3 The Goat, the greatest sports talk of all time.
All right, Dave Schultz, a few more minutes here with Lyndon Burton. Before we go to the top of the hour, we'll see if we got John McDade, the commission, the Sunbelt coordinator of officials, was recorded yesterday. And a couple of these interviews over the next couple of days, you're going to have to disregard the day that I say that it is.
Mm-hmm.
All right. 269-1077. I'm handing out the phone number that I can't answer the phone because I don't know who's calling. Swell.
I'll log into my account for you.
Swell. All right, so we do have breaking news. You know, Joe Burrow, I hope he's okay. He's saying it's his calf muscle. Other people thought it was Achilles.
The coach said it was a calf, too.
I mean, I'm sorry, but this is my reaction. He came into camp out of shape. I mean, he wasn't rolling out that hard.
I thought
he stepped up in the pocket and he was rolling to his right and he pulled his calf muscle.
I thought he looked good when he came in with that. You don't remember we wrote a story about it?
He looked good with his bandana on his head.
No, but I mean, he looked muscular. He didn't look fat.
Okay.
Like I didn't think he was that much. I didn't think he looked that out of shape. But
day 1 or day 2, he just pulled a muscle.
No, but to your point, no, for sure, something's there, something's wrong. So that's crazy.
No,
but I will say he has a history of calf, which I didn't know. I did a research when I wrote my story. The beat writer for Bengals said this is the 3rd straight season that he's had issues with his calf.
Oh, okay.
So
All
so
right.
this is something. Might not be out of shape. It just might be a lingering problem,
Chronic problem
with his
All
calf.
right.
Yeah.
And then it's still arrest season apparently.
Yep.
I mean, come on, what's
I
going
have
on?
it. So UL redshirt junior wide receiver Lance Legendre, Legendre, was arrested last Wednesday.
You're from here and you can't say that name?
Legendre? That's what I think it is.
I don't think it is, but go ahead.
Was arrested at 12:01 Wednesday by the UL campus police after an incident that happened on Theater Street.
How old is he?
23-year-old native of New Orleans.
23-year-old.
He is facing a charge of battery of dating of his partner following altercation. He was released on a $2,500 bond, and his court appearance is this Friday. But
So
he's
that's
suspended
tomorrow.
indefinitely by the team for all related activities.
So that's tomorrow.
Yep.
We just got through this great news. Ben Roldridge and now one of his wide receivers.
And he was supposed to be their top starting wide receiver, too.
Which they don't have a lot of.
No. Yeah. He was he came out of Warren Easton. He was supposed to be their top guy this year, so now I don't know what's gonna happen. That number 8, if he's
that Georgia offensive lineman is from Georgia Easton. Or from Warren Easton.
From Warren Easton? Oh, okay.
Cedric Van Pran. Or Pran. Cedric Van Pran.
Yeah.
All right. So is this going to go automatically here?
It should, because I set it up that way.
And is there music in there?
There should be.
Or do I have to put the music in there? We're playing Dragon Attack? I don't even know what that song is. Is that a real song? Or did you make it up?
We're gonna find out at 3:56.
Well, it should play here at 3:55:50.
No, we said 3:56 and then the break starts at 3:56.
Oh, okay. All right.
I got you. Don't worry.
Right. I am worried.
Well, I got you. I got you.
You won't have me tomorrow.
Well,
leaving me all by myself, Lyndon.
I'll be back Monday.
That ain't helping me for tomorrow. All right. Let's see.
Boom. No, you don't even have to touch that.
I don't have to touch it. Oh, it's the log.
Yeah, I got you. I told you.
So that worked out. All right. Coming up next, John McDade. We talked about he is the SEC and the Sun Belt coordinator of officials. Not only do we talk to him about Horns Down, which we didn't get to do in Nashville, but we talk about the new rules and what his weekend is like. How does he spend his Saturday, football Saturdays and Sundays? Back after this. Dave Schultz, Lyndon Burton on a Thursday afternoon Sports Chat, 103.3. Big O.
Businesses proudly support the broadcast of UL Athletics on 103.3 The Goat, 1420 AM, and News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
Fisher Early Childhood Development Center.
M&D Industries.
Ernie Insurance.
And Roy Motors. Support these businesses that support Ragin Cajun broadcast and bring all the action into your homes, cars, smart speakers, or wherever you work all season long.
If your business would like to join the winning team and support the broadcast of UL Athletics by becoming a UL broadcast booster, contact Pam Begno by calling 337-233-6000.
Where are we on the lineup?
It's official. Avery is producing Main Street Music Days.
We need to be ready. We're going to have lots of people. What's the status on the new sound engineer?
They need an audio technician to keep things level from sound checks to encores.
Make sure audio from one stage does not compete with another.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do.
Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates, and you can schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from the Indeed dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
DQ presents Picture this. Picture your favorite Blizzard treat, but this one is being held by someone very special. RE, our Children's Miracle Network Hospital's champion.
Hi!
Miracle Treat Day is Thursday, July 27th. $1 or more of each Blizzard treat sold at participating locations benefits your local children's hospital and kids like Ari. So treat yourself in the most meaningful way.
Support kids like me on Miracle Treat Day, Thursday, July 27th.
DQ, happy tastes good.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Leaving for the gym so early?
I'm ready to go.
Since you started taking Nugenix Total T, you've been acting like when we met in our 20s.
I feel like myself again. Lower testosterone after turning 40 slowed me down. Nugenix Total T has been a game changer for me.
What is it about Nugenix Total T that's different?
Well, it's a patented key ingredient called testofen. It boosts free and total testosterone to help you get back the drive and energy from your youth. It's backed by 5 clinical studies.
I've seen the huge difference it's made for you in the gym, at work, and in the bedroom.
I'm so glad I sent them a text for my complimentary bottle. Text ROCK to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Nugenix is the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now, and we'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text ROCK to 321-321. That's ROCK to 321-321.
Hey y'all, I'm Kelly Clarkson. Every American dreams of creating a better life for his or her family, but in some communities, those dreams face difficult challenges. When we come together to help those in need get the same opportunities as everyone else, we truly are making our country a better place to live for all of us. So look for volunteer opportunities in your community to help others achieve the American dream, all right? This message is courtesy of the United States Air Force.
Dwight Andrus, a division of Hub International, is Louisiana's premier employee benefits and commercial insurance brokerage. Dwight Andrus can insure just about any risk that your business faces. Dwight Andrus specializes in the construction, healthcare, real estate, and hospitality industries. Chances are you're probably already doing business with someone who does business with Dwight Andrus. Dwight Andrus, a division of Hub International,